We have been tracking the stock market all morning. It plummeted more than 1,000 points as investors and consumers worry about President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs affecting almost all imports into the country. Now, the president claims this will help lead to the rebirth of American industry.
However, economic experts say these new sweeping import taxes could hit many companies that rely on global supply chains and now may have to raise their prices. The effects could ripple into the restaurant industry right here in Texas. So joining us this afternoon to discuss more about that impact is Emily Williams-Knight. She is the president and CEO of the Texas Restaurant Association. Emily, welcome and thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, when you listened to Trump's tariff announcement yesterday, how much more clarity did that provide for restaurant owners out there about which of their foreign imports could be affected most by this?
You know, I think actually it caused more confusion for restaurant owners. Restaurants here in Austin, about 70% of them order goods from outside of the U.S. And so that could be from table linens to glass to uniforms and, of course, all their agricultural product. And so for them, the questions started coming in immediately. Are these tariffs going to stick? What is it going to mean to the bottom line? What are my suppliers going to do? And so I think what it does is right now we have a lot of restaurants that are fearful of what this impact is going to bring to them.
The National Restaurant Association shared food costs have gone up 40% over the last 5 years already. We know many restaurant owners actually have not passed that increase on to customers completely. Right. So talk about what are you hearing from your restaurant members about whether that will hold in light of the recent developments?
Yeah, such a good question. I think what people have to remember is that these restaurants are still coming out of the last 5 years, right? Of a lot of increase in labor cost, increase in food cost, increase in insurance. Their credit card swipe fees that you use in their restaurants have doubled since 2020. And so what we're hearing is that there isn't any more room for them to absorb. These are very low margin businesses in general. And so what they're saying to us now is that unfortunately they can't keep absorbing these cost increases. And some of this is going to have to go back to that Texas consumer.
And Emily, where do you think restaurants can turn to possibly find alternatives to those products that they import? Are there simply enough options out there that exist for them right now?
Unfortunately, there's not. And so in many cases, especially our fresh goods that we bring in, we don't produce enough of those here. And at the same time, because our suppliers don't have a lot of visibility as they're thinking about expansion of their restaurants, ordering new equipment, because those suppliers don't know what the long-term impact is. In some cases, those costs are already coming through. So what they're deciding to do and what we're encouraging is be thoughtful about every expense. Look at your menu. What can you source locally if you can? Are there items you're going to have to take off your menu because it's just too expensive? And then how do you plan for the future? I think those are a lot of the things we're trying to do webinars and provide resources to our members now to just help them get through this uncertain time once again.
Okay, you guys also put out a call to action for customers. So what would you say to people who are hearing all this and thinking, gosh, we want to help our favorite local spot?
Exactly. I mean, what we're really saying is that go visit that local restaurant. We also know our consumers are under incredible strain of long-term inflationary pressure themselves. But if you can go in and buy a meal, if you can buy a small gift card, especially those local independent restaurants that don't have access to a global supply chain, those are the ones that we're really concerned about. And Austin is made up of those really special restaurants. And so what we're really encouraging consumers is make a trip, go see them. And if you can't, maybe write a review. Tell them how great they are. Let other people know that they should go see that restaurant. But right now is a time when you have to remember your local restaurant and try to engage with them. They're under a tremendous amount of pressure.
Some good tips there for people who are watching all this unfold. I think our next question for you, we see the Capitol behind you in the windows there. You all have been in constant communication with lawmakers. Is there anything this session right here in Texas that could affect any of this? Are there any changes that you all see or are pushing for to maybe help customers and restaurants alike?
Absolutely. Today, actually, I'm sitting here. We are waiting to testify on 2 bills, and both of them are to bring transparency and also reduce the cost of what we would call swipe fees or interchange fees. And so every time a customer uses their credit card in one of our restaurants, there is a fee that merchant pays, and most times that goes back to that consumer. And so we are trying to fix this in Texas. We want to be the first to truly fix this problem, but that would bring immediate relief to both consumers and merchants across any type of business here in Texas.
Well, Emily Williams Knight with the Texas Restaurant Association, we appreciate you taking the time this afternoon to talk through this with us, and I'm sure that we'll be following up with you as we keep understanding the impacts of all of this, but we appreciate it again. Thanks so much.